Hey guys, so we are at part 2 of our Dreamcatcher. So we had to break it up into 2 parts, but we will continue on and finish. If we look at this one, we'll finish the feathers and the dream, and yeah, we'll finish that off. So the first thing that we're going to do is you are going to get out your tiny little brush and dip it in water. And what we're going to start with first, I think, will be the lines on our Dreamcatcher. So we'll need a little bit of black for that. So we are going to go to the far side, far left, and I'm going to pull really lightly on my brush. So I'm going to use my pinky and just the tip of it and pull down like you're tickling the canvas. So you're just going to come lightly, lightly, lightly. And if you don't get a full line, that's okay. You're going to leave a little bit of a space at the bottom. So that's one line. And then we're going to move a little bit over, and we are going to do another shorter line. And then we'll do another little more space, a little longer line. And a short little one again. And then we'll do another longer one. And we'll do short. And long. And short again. All right, so we're gonna rinse that brush out. Just lightly dab it on your napkin. We're gonna start with this one first. So it's going to be a yellow, okay? And you're just going to do this upside down U basically. And then we're gonna come down and like so. It's just this kind of light little feather or skinny feather. And we can add some flicks. So you're just taking your brush and just kind of flicking out. We're going to fill that in. You can use your tiny little brush or you can use your bigger brush. It's going to look a little bit funny right now. I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. Because yellow is so transparent that it's going to totally bleed through the other colors. So if I mix up just a little bit of a light yellow and add that on top, okay, and then I'm going to take actually a little tiny bit of red, and I'm just going to mix up a little tiny bit of a darker, like a light orange, and I'm going to add that on the top and just pulling some of that color through. Okay, if you think that's too big and you want it a little bit smaller, you can take a big brush and, like we did before, using the water to kind of erase. And then you can take a cloth or a paper towel and just clean it up. Okay? So don't judge your feathers just yet until we get them all up there. They're gonna look a little bit funny at this point. Okay, so we need some green. And so to do that, we are going to take a little bit of blue. And on another side of my yellow here, I'm just gonna mix that up. You don't need a whole lot. You can mix up any color you want. It doesn't have to be green. If you want all of your feathers to be orange, go for it. This one is going to be a larger one here, and so it's going to start at the top, and we're just gonna come down to the bottom. So it's kind of this oval shape or this upside down teardrop shape, and then we're just building it up by using your brush and pulling kind of down and out. So I love all kinds of different shades and colors in my feathers. So you'll see that I am actually running out of my green. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more blue, mix it up with a little bit of yellow to make a darker green, and I'm gonna place that on top. It looks almost like a blue. So it looks really, really messy at this point. And it's easy to judge and go, oh, I'm not sure I like that, but just keep going with it, okay? At any point, you can fix it. We can add more to it. If you want to add a little bit of white to highlight maybe some of these, make it lighter, you can do that too. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush again, and I'm gonna go to the blue, and I'm gonna go over to this one here. Okay, I'm gonna leave a little bit of space, and I'm gonna come kind of like a diamond shape. Okay, I'm gonna add my blue towards the bottom. I'm not rinsing off my brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit of white, and I'm gonna start at the top and just kind of pulling it down. So you'll get variations of light blue and dark blue. Okay. Rinse your brush again. So if we look at this one here, it's got kind of this turquoise, not a turquoise, a coral color and a purple color. So all for that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the purple color. So to mix up purple, you are going to take a little bit of blue, mix it in with a little bit of your red. If you want it to be lighter, you can take a little bit of white and mix that in. Okay, we're gonna do that same shape. So you're gonna do that kind of upside down U. And we'll come out a bit. And then down to a point. Okay, so I'm keeping whatever paint I have in my brush, and I'm just gonna take white, and I'm gonna come to the top, and you'll see that the white is mixing in with the purple that's there. And so I'm just brushing kind of over top of those lines. I'll get a little bit more white. And so I'm not over brushing because I like the variation of the colors, and I feel like it looks a little bit more feathery if you have those variations of color. Now I see that that's not quite center, but I'll fix that with some beads. The coral color, if you want a bit of a coral color, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of your red, mix it in with your yellow, and we're gonna take just a little bit of white with that. So you're going to use a little bit more red, so you don't want it quite orange. You just want a little tiny. You want it more red, sorry. You want it more red than orange. So you're going to use more red, and you can take a little bit of white. Okay, we're gonna leave a space and we'll go over here. And same idea with the other one. So you're gonna add a few wispy lines and then you'll come out again and down to a point. So I still have some paint in my brush. I'm just gonna dip straight into my white. I need a little bit more. And I'm just pulling down, mixing in with the color that's there, going over top of those lines. Okay, so there's my feathers. And what we're going to do is with the rest of these, we are going to use some colors to make beads. So you can do any colors you want, and you're just going to start to add these little circles, kind of. They can be big, they can be smaller. Okay, you can add any colors you want, wherever you want. Okay, you can also add some white as well for some of those beads. next part is a little bit trickier. So we're gonna come off the side here and write dream. And then they're gonna kind of fly into birds. So I'm gonna come here and just come down like that. Now if you want to, you can get a piece of chalk and write dream. You can get a pencil and write dream. I'm gonna just take my paintbrush. Okay. And now I'm going to turn it this way to explain the bird because it's kind of difficult. So at any point, if I'm going too fast, you can pause. Okay? So make a circle for the head. Okay? And then we're going to do a happy face for the body. And we're going to come down and connect. Okay, so this shape isn't that important because it's all going to get filled in. So from the back of his head, we're going to come up and this line is going to curve like that. I think we might need to give him a bigger body, and then we're just going to add his wings. We can fill that in. You can give him a beak. And a tail, or his tail feathers. Okay, and then we're going to come up on this side right here. So it's kind of like a V, and then we'll add a few small lines there, and you'll curve around at the top of his head like so. And fill that in. Okay, so there's one bird. And I think we'll just add two smaller ones that are kind of more like your typical M shape. All right, so there we have it. You know what? I don't like that because now that I see it, the bird's going all the way down and I kind of want one flowing that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to add another bird just like we did, or we can erase it. We're going to erase it. So brush, shimmy back and forth. Okay, and what we're gonna do is maybe actually keep your canvas this way, and we're gonna redo that. So don't worry about that mistake, we'll fix it after. So like I had suggested, we did a circle for the body, and then we came and we did this happy face. We came back on that side of his head, like so. Okay, you can fill that in. We're going to come up like that, right where his head and his body meet. And then we're going to curve his wing that way. And so then we're just going to add his feathers. And then they get a little bit shorter. Okay. We have to add his tail feathers. And his beak. And the other wing. Okay. So I'm just taking a little bit of white. Just to soften some of those areas. And then I'll come back. But there's one bird. I think I like the first bird better, but what do you do? It's not always perfect. Okay, so if I want to soften this area a little bit, I can take a little bit of water and just pull across and shimmy back and forth, and that'll blend. There we have it. We have two very, very different pictures, the same but different, right? So although I did this one first, they still end up being the same but different, right? And so just be kind to yourself, have fun, and don't worry about the process or if it looks exactly like any of these. Thanks, guys.